Blog Talk Radio.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Family, friends, enemies, to all who hear this, shalom to you. All praises to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In the name of the Holy Mother, the Heavenly Mother, the Earthly Mother, the Comforter, Wisdom, and Yahweh Shai. Tonight, let's talk. Let's get at it. Considering all things happening and all things as they are. So tonight, the title of this lesson is, As We Ascend, We Get Closer to the Heathen Gentiles Breaking Point. So we ascend. We are moving ahead, full steam ahead. And this is what is creating such a wake of ignorance, because we've left them behind. And this isn't something that we're doing because we want to. This is something that is being done to us, through us, for us, by our Father. As I look and see all this stuff that's happening on TV, as I look and see it, all I keep seeing is the same madness over and over from these people. And, you know, our people, those who seemingly appear to look like us, even they are having a hard time reconciling understanding of resolution. Reconciling understanding of resolution. And why? Because they think and still believe in the system. They want the system to be something that it was never intended to be. They want it to be equal, and they want it to look like them. They want it to be like them. And sadly, they're delusional, as well as the Gentile heathens, who are also delusional, trying to make the system all about them, when the whole system is changing. And again, Thomas Jefferson, their own boy wonder, told them that he trembles for his country. And it wasn't our country at that time when he wrote that soliloquy. It wasn't our country. We were still 3/5 of man, or 3/5 of human. So he said, I tremble for my country, when he realizes that there is going to be an exchange of situation by supernatural means. And this is where we are. We have reached the last level. We have reached the last rung of the last level until we become the new people, until we actually become the people purposed to be the light. Now, why do I say that? Why? What you talking about? Well, I'm saying that because if you look at where we are, we've come from the Bible, okay? We've come from the basic instructions before leaving Earth. We've come from there to from the 66 to the 80, right? The Apocrypha. Went to Jasher, right? In between Jasher, we started understanding the sealed portion, the Book of Mormon, the Book of Great Wisdom, Pearls. We went into all of the Book of Mormon side of our scriptures, held up from them, okay? We went from there into the Zohar, into the Kabbalah, right? We went from there into esoteric understanding, right? We went to our zodiac. We started seeing and understanding the retrogrades and the stars and in our calendars, and you know, we have come a long way. We've come a long way, and we have come a long way in such a short period of time, which is why the heathen Gentiles are soon to reach their breaking point, because they cannot maintain the system when the system is being exposed. They just can't. They're not built for that. They were built to, you know, service it, while we were built to create and maintain and build it. They were only built to service it. Okay? And so now it's coming to a head. It's all reaching a plateau. Like, for instance, their politics, their leadership, okay? Their leadership is being shown to be less than leadership. Like, matter of fact, it's something to be said for the verse that says, and a child shall lead them. Now, from our perspective, a child leading us would mean that we would have to go back into a childlike understanding of openness to realize and see different changes, different things that are going on within our own spirit and the spirits around us, which is a good thing for us, because we have to be able to be humbled and be like a child to be able to eat from the tree of life. But for them, a child shall lead them. Literally, these baby boomers are trying to act with these old white baby boomers, and some of these boule Negroes are trying to act like they're still, and in their mind, they're like, I'm still 60, and they're 80. You know, they're thinking that they're young. They're trying to be children, and their actions are showing poor decision making, like a child, a out of order child. So the whole breaking point is on its way for them. It is coming to a head because they can no longer service us. They can't service the Father. They can't service His Word. There's no more reason for them to be in charge. So they have met, and they are struggling to be part of their system still. And it's all evident. It's evident. I mean, even their movies, everything, all of their movies is espionage, sex, lying, stealing, and, of course, murder. Okay? That's all their movies are. Every bit of their mentality is based on vice. See, as we move forward or moved up, as we ascended up the ladder of Jacob's ladder, okay, there are levels in that. Within the levels, there's levels. And we were able to move quickly past them as they were on their way down, because they hit a glass ceiling. They could know. It's just like they hit the water, and they could go no further because they're not spiritual. Because the levels from the 3D to the 5D is spiritual. They get up, they get out, and they boast, and they talk, and they pray loudly, and they use words to pontificate and lead and Pied Piper the people astray. And now that we have matured in our understanding, overstanding, and knowledge, now the next phase for us is to strengthen, is to mold, is to be allowed to be molded spiritually. Because that's what we were built for, purposed for. That's why the book that I read last week is such a phenomenon, because it is creating yet another confirmation of who, of what, of where, of when. And the Gentiles can't keep up with us. They can't keep up with this knowledge. So what they do is they try to use their same tactics by saying, oh, well, everybody was a slave. Everybody had slaves, missing the plot, missing the point that, no, not everybody was considered 3/5 of a human. They missed that. Oh, well, we don't want to make our children feel bad when they see Granny and Grandpa, screaming at the little black people or throwing rocks at them or punching them or spitting on them or hanging by them while they're hanging. They don't want to see it. Okay, we didn't like it either, but you felt the need to do it. This isn't about you per se, as it is more about us. This is our time to shine, our turn. And now they don't have a dog in this fight. Their God, Cesar Borgia, and rolled out on them, threw the deuces up, rolled out the door, and they're like, but wait. And who's that? Who's their Cesar Borgia, right? Their Cesar Borgia was their Pat Robinson fella. Threw the deuces up. Their leader, their little queen mama, their Esther, their Easter, the queen, threw the deuces up, rolled out on. Everybody that they have allowed to lead them from a spiritual, who they put all their eggs in the basket of spirituality, has left them. Where's the Joel Osteens? Where's the T.D. Jakes? I saw a thing on with T.D. Jakes, and I don't know what that brother's talking about. It's like, it's sad to watch these people who said, and it's funny because they get what they deserve, because they sat around, a lot of them, I'm not going to say all, because that's crazy, but a lot of them sat around and said that God spoke directly to them, especially during the Trump years. These blasphemous Gentile heathens would get on their television and expound on their rhetoric of madness, stating that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Creator, spoke to them and said that Trump was going to win. And see, this was the beginning of their descent down the ladder of Jacob. That was the beginning of it, and it was a free fall at that point. And now we're starting to see that they are so far beneath us that even the things that they say don't even make sense. And the things that they do, it's like their decisions are so poor. Why, JoJo Magoo, would you sit there and give more money to a war that is of no consequence to us, to the world? It matters not. The only consequence to us is the fact that you now want to put us into a quagmire of inflation and, struggle and tribulation. You want to put your people in the tribulation, because the karma that's coming today is karma on the totality of the collective of the Gentile. The Gentile had the opportunity for a long time to individually cleanse themselves and get themselves right, but they chose not to, whilst we, on the collective, was being punished. Now that has changed. Now the punishment comes to them on the collective. We get the chance to individually cleanse and get ourselves right. That's why at the end, Jacob will be healed. The kingdom will come regardless, because Yahushua had to put the kingdom, the temples in us, the antennas, if you will, the frequency, the vibration, because he knew that if they kept it on the surface, that the heathen Gentiles would look at that and like him to destroy it. Now, I'm not trying to keep browbeating them cats. Because them fools are fools. They were fools from the beginning. They'll be fools at the end. That's a given, okay? However, we have to set the stage, because what's happening as I speak, what's happening is that there is a how does Ezekiel say? There is a loud noise. There is a shuffling. There is a resonating resonance. There is a frequency that has never been seen or felt on this planet for a while, a long time, at least 400 to 500 years, okay? Okay, so there is a steering happening in our spirit, which automatically, the frequency that we bring forth automatically brings forth the same frequency from the land, which then automatically brings forth the same frequency from the sky, from the air, from the water. There is, by no stretch of the imagination, we should not understand that these people have to do all they can to muddy the waters, to make the waters polluted, to make the sky polluted, because they knew at the end there will be activity to be seen in the stars. You know, I keep feeling that all of this activity in the sky, it's created this. It's because we started working, and within our work, within our minds and our spirit, our mind, in the metaphysics and the mind, body, and spirit of the whole realm, in the magical realm, we were able, the spiritual realm, we were able to then get on the same frequency as our land, as our air, as our water, which then allowed those above and those below to get on, to say, oh, okay, shoot, they're here, they're ready. Okay, they're here, they're ready. And they were excited. So they started to send, the Father said, go. They start to send their emissaries all around to get on that frequency. And so it's like when you have a Wi-Fi booster. This is what's going on now. They are boosting us. That's why I keep watching these guys on TV, or not TV, on these social medias, and I keep seeing the Siberian people. They talk about the same thing. You know, it's so funny. They're so busy. This is how you know that they aren't the people, okay? They are not the indigenous, aboriginal, original people of this land, of the Americas, okay? Because all they're doing today is screaming bloody murder against us, saying that we are. Instead of saying, hey, we probably brothers, so check this out. Let's get Gentiles who put us on the Trail of Tears, who killed our ancestors, who broke every treaty, who stole our land, right? Right? They're not doing that. It reminds me of the story of Solomon and the two women with the baby. So they're so busy trying to say, go ahead and cut the baby in half, give me half, and she take it, and they take half, right? That's what they're doing. But we're saying, but wait, we don't want half. We don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We want it all. So now they're kicked to the curb because they can't even keep up with the knowledge that's coming out. All they're doing is doing exactly what the Eurasian people have been doing and dismissing what we're saying. No proof. All they got is proof from the 1800s, but nobody wants to go back to the 1700s. Nobody wants to go back to the 1600s. It's just like the other day, this dude is just talking so much ignorance to this sister who posted this his true factual information on TikTok, and he was just going, and I said, listen, you know, I studied, my studies in the European universities was at Clemson, Clark, Atlanta, and Delaware, and I studied history and forensic anthropology. And you know what he said? Oh, you're lying. Those things don't. Those places don't exist. You're lying. And I got to thinking, and I said, see, we're not even having conversations with intelligent people. So right there, it shows where we are and where others aren't. Like I'm so past these people. Like they're not even on the same level. They don't even understand what the universities are in this country. They don't understand that they told us we had to go to these universities. That was a mandate. We had to learn everything they taught us. We had to do these studies. We had to be involved. That piece of paper was what it was all about for us, not them, but for us. Because that piece of paper was essentially our passport to move freely in this country. And we got that knowledge. We understand that. We understood that. We recognized that knowledge. But we didn't find ourselves in it. But we compartmentalized that knowledge and moved forward. Now, we're bringing that knowledge. We're able to go back into our dossier, into our cabinet, compartmentalized in our minds, and go back and understand what we learned then and apply it to today. And we can see the error. We can see the grace. We can see the mercy. We can see the tribulation. And whenever we bring that to the forefront, for some reason, which we all know, it's not for some reason, but for the reason of pure ignorance, they want to dismiss our tribulation that they put us through. Now, of course, the Father had them put us through it, but nevertheless, they put us through it, but they want to dismiss that and act like we're ignorant. When we went to their school. We went to their school. So as we ascend, and this is what's happening, we're starting to see it everywhere, even in the soccer world, which is the world's global number one sport. The money is crazy. It can't keep up. All of the Saudis are now trying to take over the European world. This whole dynamic is a complete shift. American football ain't seen as nothing. Basketball is holding on because of its connection to football, world football, soccer. The money that these people are utilizing is all coming from the BRICS. That's why it's so fascinating to sit back and watch the breaking point. It's just fascinating. You know, we're not going to have to read books on it later on and see what it. Nope, it's going to be innate in us. This next phase of humanity will be virtuous. It won't be full of vice, where people get to write about it and it gets put up and then people get to talk about it later. No, this is going to be innate. It's going to be constant. So we're going to know, we ain't doing that. No. Look at them. Remember them Gentiles? Oh, yeah, I remember them Gentiles. It's going to be in our face. Yeah, them Gentiles. Ooh, man, did you see what the Father did? Yeah, I know. I ain't messing with them. Isn't it like the Gentiles say, well, in 1,000 years, there's going to be some rogue Israelites. And then why would Christ come back? I've always had a problem with that. And I know that there's reasons for it. And I don't know nothing about nothing. But I have I have a small issue with it, because my logic is, okay, so Christ comes back, puts the whoop to the nations, destroys all, and builds his kingdom. We're living 1,000 years in peace. But then he goes back and he lets Satan out, and then he comes back to trick the nations again, and then I don't know. It doesn't really quite make sense to me, considering all of the things that we have had to go through. Why in the filth would anyone decide to do that again? Oh, well, people forgot. Not in the kingdom come, because once the vices go, it's our virtue. And if Satan is bound, so to speak, if vice is bound, then why would he let him out? Why would he let it? It doesn't make sense to me. But again, these are things that the Gentiles wrote and gave us in their basic instructions for leaving earth. And listen, I'm not saying that it's true or not. I'm just saying things have to be clear. They have to be very clear. It has to make sense. Our Father is not one to confuse us. That's a Gentile being led astray. He and she is dealing with confusion, not we. So I don't know why, once Christ comes back and puts the word to these cats, why he would turn around and let them get it back. It don't even make sense. But anyway, that's a digression that I just got caught up on a tangent from hot second. But as we ascend, they reach their breaking point. And I think all of us get to see their breaking point. We're starting to really see it, like Father's allowing us to see it. And that is very karmatic, cosmic karma, cosmic karmaticness, which they don't even want to deal with. They don't even want to deal with karma. They scared of these things. They want to sit and eat and be big as wild boars. That's what they want to be. They want to be wild boars and, piggies, and sit back and act like they are smarter than others when they are not even smart enough to take care of themselves. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it, I'm not judging anybody on that. I'm just making a point that a lot of these people who are sitting back telling us that we don't know what we're talking about are not taking care of themselves, nor their families. And all we're talking about is how to take care of ourselves and our families. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. It's so crazy. You can't even make this up. All we're doing is saying, listen, we want to know about our history now. It's time. We want to know where we're from. We want to know this. Okay, well, we now know that. Now we want more information. Oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Just like the slave boat ride. Come on, man. How in the filth Florida, I said it before, I said it again, and I'm going to get off this tangent, but how in the filth Florida can a nation who never, ever had the ability to build a ship, navigate the waters, all of a sudden make 125,000 trips from Ghana to the Caribbean, carrying 200 people eating slop, laying in piss and filth? How dared to travel that sea? They had more rations, food, gold than people, water. They didn't have the capacity. They didn't have the mental capacity. They didn't have the physical capacity. They didn't have the spiritual capacity to pull off an endeavor, logistical endeavor such as that. But what they did have was the pen capacity, the written capacity to create a narrative, to create a lie. That's what they've had. So when we look at history and start looking at it from our own perspective, we can see, like I said, we get to see God's grace, his mercy, his tribulation that he put on us. They don't get to see that because theirs is coming. They don't get to see ours. And I take that back. Some will see ours, and they will gravitate to us because they will look at that and be like, you know what? These Negroes, what they talking about make a lot more sense than what I've been told. And then they're going to have that look on their face like, yo, I am so glad that you all woke up to help me wake up and be part of kingdom to come. But the others, of course, they're going to be back, hemmed up, beat down, downtrodden, probably, off themselves. They're going to be struggling. These Karens, shoot, they're going to be Nancy's after a while. They're going to be struggling. They ain't going to have nowhere to go and nowhere to hide. But that piece of this whole situation is the Father. I'm not going to judge these people, even though I know they're ignorant and I know they're foolish. But that ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't even have to entertain them anymore. Their mindset does nothing for me. Like literally, there is not one person in their world that I feel has more intelligence, has more critical thinking, has more critical life experience than me, which then creates a confidence out of me, not an arrogancy, confidence in me to look these people in the eye, which is one of the things they didn't want us to do. Don't look me in the eye and don't read. Because when you read and you look me in the eye, you will see through me and you will know who I am. And this is what we do. We know who they are. They're no better than anybody else, even though they got their titles, their fancy houses, their fancy cars, they got all their monopoly money. None of them can buy what I got, because the Father said that I am rich. That's all I need to know. Mm-hmm. He ain't got to say nothing else. Hey, you are rich. Shoot. I'm rich. I'm rich in mind. I'm rich in thought. I'm rich in body. And I'm rich in spirit. And that goes for the whole nation of Israel. The whole of it. And now that leads me to the final rung, the final level. Oh, man, crazy. This here book, the Book of the True Life, Volume 12. Now, there's 12 volumes. I'm just in Volume 12. I've been on this I've been eating this like I had been eating the sealed portion, the Book of More, the Zohar, and the Kabbalah, like all this stuff. I've been all about it. Because this is a book that was translated in English here recently, last few years, within our last 7 years, it was translated from Spanish to English so that we here, the Israelites here in the Americas, can hear. And where did this come from? Mexico. And it's interesting, I'm really, I posted this in the community part, but I think that everybody needs to really take a look at this and really try to understand what this next level is. This next level is going to be hard on us because it's going to be difficult for us to not want to open hand slap these people in the mouth. It's going to be difficult because we're going to want righteous revenge just like they did, just like they do, just like we see on TV. There's a Liam Nelson. That we don't want that righteous revenge. That's where we're going to get caught up and hemmed up. And this is our test. This is, the final test. This is how we're going to have to move forward. If we do this with each other, if we treat each other with respect, if we love our God collectively, respectfully, and we love each other respectfully, then there's nothing they can do. There's absolutely nothing they can say, do, act, nothing, because that's the whole fear. They separated us because they knew if we collectively got back together on one accord with our God, it's a wrap for them. So this next level, the next rung, we had to understand all this information. We had to get back to our history. We had to know without us. without a doubt who we are. Then we had to understand all the words that our Father told us that was given to us via the Gentiles, because that's our arsenal against them. Okay? We had to go back into history to even gain more arsenal, because that's what we're going to use against them. We had to go and deal with the inheritance from an esoteric, from a zodiac or a sky view of things, in order to put it all together. And now, here we are. Now it comes back to the one thing that we've been clamoring for forever. UNITY, but it's not UNITY on the physical. It's UNITY, that love that we need to show each other, that will blow them up, because they have never, ever seen that before. And it's showing now. Yeah, we got some camps that are out here screaming about the women. Women can't do this, women can't do that, which is the same thing as the Southern Baptists did today. So they churchianity. But hey, I ain't mad at them, because they gonna be judged for what they gonna be judged for, their actions, right? Everybody is. So it ain't nobody tripping, nobody hating nobody. But the fact is that once we get to the point where we are pure spiritual lovers of our own unity, which our own unity, of course, is our own collectiveness, our own nation. So you can't have a nation if you ain't got no unity. You can't have no unity. You can't have a nation if you ain't got no unity. You can't have unity if you ain't got no spiritual. If you got everybody running around clamoring over white Jesus, or clamoring over white Muhammad or white Buddha, or, because everybody got to be white. Ain't nobody dark. There's nobody clamoring over gods that are dark. Okay? So all these white gods, everybody's clamoring over. But, what about us? The moment we take back our own God, take back who we are, our own Father, our own mother, own brother, then our kingdom comes. Then our nation is. And the Gentiles and the heathens just fall to nothingness. Just like he said, they'll fall to like spittle, because they'll be so inconsequential. This is the beauty of where we are today. But I digress. I keep babbling off. But here we go. Last week, I read volume 12, 344 in the book of the True Life. Okay. This week, I'm going to read volume 12, 341. And each time I read these things, this is speaking directly to Israel, not speaking to the Christians, the Hindus, all the rest. It's not speaking to them. It's speaking directly to Israel and not Israelis, even though some of them could be Israelites. I doubt it, but nevertheless, some could. Who the hell am I? Okay? All right. Spiritual teaching, 341, love each other. If my message of love had been understood, after a long time, humanity would live in peace. But man pretends to be self-sufficient and has forgotten my law. People, in your struggle to spread my work, do not want to work only for your advancement. Do not want to work only for your advancement. Shed this light in all without distinction. He who continues spiritually parked in the routine ideas inherited for centuries, and that therefore has not let go of his fanaticism, he will not contemplate my light as you do. Your spirit has received this divine revelation, and what is your obligation to humanity? Put at your disposal the knowledge that you have acquired, bearing witness to the truth with your actions. See, these Gentiles don't worry about my actions, listen to my words. Nope, that's not how this works. I have instructed you to make known the message of love that I have come to give you. I have revealed to you that I am in you and outside of you, but you ask me, Lord, how can we reach perfection to get to you? And I tell you that by your own merits will you go climbing until you reach me. Therefore I always advise you to become spiritual, to go uplifting and putting your gifts into practice. You no longer need forms or rituals, images that do not have life nor power. You have been created in the image and likeness of your God, because you have spirit, you have power, and gifts to practice good. In your fulfillment, be inspired by the creation that has life and manifest the power and strength of your Lord. Contemplate the firmament. See around you how everything fulfills its mission. See how the sun gives life to that nature and how there is harmony between its elements of life and the germ that sprouts from the earth, all in perfect communion, manifest the greatness of God. Christ, in his perfection, dominated matter, and that is why he performed the miracle of giving sight to the blind and making paralyzed walk. It was the spirit that manifested itself through matter. You must evolve so that your spirit can dominate matter and manifest itself through it. Well, that sounds like magic, right? That sounds like magic. I say that's more magical. They talking about magic. Again, I come among you as love and charity, but my light is shed on everyone because the world needs spiritual guidance. Men of good will who exhort humanity, refraining from all personal gain and all vanity. Those who truly know that humanity is estranged from their spiritual father, and that it is necessary for him to come to himself, to reconsider and listen to the word of light so that he becomes spiritualized. Those who fight for the good of their brothers, no matter what religion or doctrine they belong to, they will be manifesting truth, and truth is God. My doctrine is universal, and as the spirit of man evolves, it will eliminate everything superfluous, and you will seek spirituality, light, and guidance for your perfection. You know, it's funny because what we're doing, what we do, why we think, how we're thinking, what we're reading, it's all looking for truth. Truth in and of itself is perfection. You got a lot of people, which is a demented energy that says, well, you can't be, ain't nobody perfect. But that defeats the purpose of spirituality, because spirituality is supposed to make you perfect. So we are seeking truth or perfection through truth. But see, the Gentiles can't seek that because Gentiles don't understand nor want truth. Therefore, they will always be imperfect. That is the difference. An Israelite, a Gentile, does not. Because you got a lot of people out here that say, well, you ain't perfect. And when you say, well, I'm seeking perfection, now they think that you're arrogant. Let me get some water real quick. Oh, he's full of himself. He thinks he's perfect. No, I'm seeking perfection. I'm seeking perfection through the truth. Because if I understand truth, then I am being perfected. My doctrine is universal. As the spirit of man evolves, it will eliminate everything superfluous, and you will seek spirituality, light, and guidance for your perfection. Love your God and love your fellow men, because in this lies universal understanding. To you I have entrusted my work so that through you the world may receive my word. Go to all the same. Do not distinguish races or colors, because all are in need of the same spiritual food. Got that right. In every good deed that you execute, your spirit will be filled with joy. You will feel my peace and greater strength to move forward in the fulfillment of your spiritual unification. With love, I await the return of the sheep, that I have left the sheepfold. Of those who are traveling different paths in this time, your master crosses the desert to go in search of the lost. And those who, having filled them with my grace and my love, now I contemplate them wrapped in their great gales. Beloved disciples that have sprouted from me, I have come to prepare you at this time with my power and with my love, so that you are not carried away by the confusion that surrounds the world. Isn't that come on, man. You can't make this stuff up. These words resonate for us, because we have come to, for every time that we became stagnant in our walk, we then gain another piece of truth. That's what I was talking about earlier. And now here we are. This thing, it was edited in 2021. It just came about. We just got it in 2018. A year before, 2 years before the beginning of our awakening, the fullness of our awakening. 2 years before that. And this is an amazing bit of work. Like, this is not something to scoff at. I think that folks, I believe that we need to entertain it. The time of my communication through human understanding is coming to an end, and then you will rise up to testify among humanity. I have led you in the saving basket, and I have made you my soldiers of the third ear, so that you get up for the roads to make the world feel the confidence, the love towards its God. You will be before the world like a clean mirror. You will see my world fulfilled from the first to the last, because you are my servants who, with humility and obedience, will fulfill my mandate and will have written on your heart the law. I, the Master, have come to teach you humility, so that you can rise up imitating me and go everywhere in the regions, because humanity is hungry and thirsty for my word. It is necessary for you to rise up, O dearly beloved people, along the different paths of the earth, because even many of this nation have not recognized my work. See that in the world those who go in my name, even though you are needy in spirit and you have been filled by my divinity, what do you correspond to do? What do you correspond to do? Make my doctrine known. You will not hide from the world or deny it the charity that it does lack. See, this is where we are now. We're not stagnant anymore. We now are getting what we're to do at this time, because it's easy to fall back into, hating on Esau and browbeating these cats and judging them and telling them that they don't know what they're talking about. It's easy. That's so easy. But we have to continue to be tried. We have to continue our testing. Sects, religions, and various doctrines will rise up in your path and want to get you out of the way, claiming to be possessors of the truth, claiming to be my disciples. But you will rise up to fulfill my mandates. I will give you the alert, so that you may be ready in the fight. Come on. I will be before you, and I will make you known before humanity as the mediators of my peace, as the balm that calms its pains. By your obedience, you will climb step by step until you reach the top of the mountain, top of Jacob's ladder. There I wait for the mark of the 12 tribes of Israel. My teaching, see, that's the other thing, real quick. I'm just going to say this real quick. They don't even want to acknowledge our tribes, our nations. But everything is speaking of our nations. It's so wild. It's like, come on, you guys are this dumb. I cannot believe that we looked at these people as if they were smart, as if they were gods. That's that sorcery. That's that sorcery. That's that sorcery. By your obedience, you will climb step by step until you reach the top of the mountain. There I wait for the mark of the 12 tribes of Israel. My teaching at this time is the Third Testament, where you will find my mandates, which I have given you in the sense figuratively and also clearly so that you take what corresponds to each one. I have engraved you. Hold on a second. I have engraved in you, Israel, my word, with indelible letters, and nothing will be lost. And thus you will be able to testify what? In my perfect wisdom, I have entrusted to humanity at all times. Through prayer, you reach my spirit, helped by my spiritual world that guards you. You already know this way, because in the lessons that I have given you in the third era, I have taken you by the hand, and I have taught you how to reach me through prayer. See, and this is the key, too. These folks, I'm just going to start saying folks. Folks is going to be Gentiles, Christians, Heathen, and everything. These folks, because I'm tired of calling them out. They're so dumb. But these folks have sat back and said that they've sat back and prayed and pontificated and told everybody their prayers and God told me this and God, we need to let this cup pass us by. Listen, prayer is this is where we come in. This is where we come in. Because if you think back in the stories that we've heard through our history, when our people were troubled, they would sing. There would be a different vibration, right? When they were really troubled, they would be praying. They couldn't be screaming and yelling and talking out loud because the foolish nations will come and destroy them. Know where they are. They come and tell them to shut up and all this. So we had to pray properly by way of internalizing our prayer. That's how we reconnect. That's how we deal with our own spirituality. Think about that. Like, that is so key. You pray internally. You don't sit here and start praying all out in the court like some court jester or some Jester Austin, Jester Dollar, and Jester Jakes. You don't do all of this. You don't do all of it. You don't get around the table and start praying up. No, you pray by yourself because your prayers are for you and your spirituality and your spirit and your soul and your connection to the spirit for your soul. This is not what this is not is Christianity, Hinduism, any religion created by Rome, by the Gentiles. This is why this is so hard to swallow, because this is nothing like them. This is nothing like their ideology, their pontifications, their cognitive non-thinking. This is nothing like them. They can't handle this truth. They can't. I digress again. Sorry about that. Through prayer, you reach my spirit. You reach my spirit, helped by my spiritual world that guards you. You already know this way, because in the lessons that I have given you in the third era, I have taken you by the hand, and I have taught you how to reach me through prayer. The light of my word is before you like a beacon that illuminates your life. You can no longer get lost because I am in front of you. You have come to my call because you love me and have found me manifest in all my splendor. Those who have seen my presence in clairvoyance have enjoyed. But all of you have seen me with the eyes of your love and your faith. You have all tasted my word as a nectar, as exquisite delicacy, and as a balm that heals too. You will no longer be able to confuse the fruit of my word with other fruits, because you already know the flavor. You already know that it contains all perfection. Now I am preparing you to speak to others when the time is right, when your preparation is great and you shed your materialism. Okay, so when the time is right, when these heathen Gentiles, when these people are losing their minds, all just drugged out, just off of themselves, fused, topsy-turvy, their world is falling, the Father is sending his 144 to go throughout the world and be able to teach them his way, because they are going to be in such dire straits that he loves them too. He still, even though they follow wild, those that he has allowed left or allowed to be left, he's going to have his people minister to them. Because think of us. Look at us. We are the strongest of our nation. We have survived. Parents survived. Our grandparents survived. Great-grands, great-great-grands, great-great-great-grands, great-great-great-great-grands survived. We strong. So the same thing's going to be said for them. After they take their whooping, only the strong of them are going to be left. Yeah, they're going to be all dysfunctional. They're going to be mentally ill. That's when they're going to need to have a comforter, just like we have. Nothing new under the sun. This is the brotherly love. This is the true love. Can you love your enemy when the time comes? See, he didn't do that now. No. He said he's going to tell us when the time comes to go and do that, okay? And that's what he says right here. Okay. You will no longer be able to confuse the fruit of my word with other fruits, because you already know the flavor. You already know that it contains all perfection. Now I am preparing you to speak to others when the time is right, when your preparation is great and you shed your materialism. Think about that now. I pour on all spirits the essence of my word, my love, and my light, and all those who seek me find me. In all the religions, doctrines, and creeds on earth, I have found elevated beings who seek in spirituality, spirits that have shed all materialism and have formed a temple within themselves. By intuition, they have received from my spirit, because I have revealed to them, as to you, everything that belongs to the third ear. They have also read in the scriptures, in my word given in the second ear, and in their analysis and meditations, I tell you that I am shedding my light among you, and I have received with love of your spirit. Great works prepare when contemplating the lost and disoriented humanity. They have risen, they have made merits, and they have told me, forgive those who don't know. We bring your light, the gifts, the strength to be able to fulfill your precepts. They are based on the law, on my word given in times past, and penetrate the prophecies and announcements given by Christ to his disciples, and they say, this is the time. That's how they look for me, and that's how they have me within, because I can't be hidden from men. Everyone who seeks me has me in him. But that's the key. Listen what he said. That's kind of an absolute. Everyone who seeks me has me in him. So we've been seeking him for the last 12 years, let's say. Last 12 years. These numbers are just phenomenal, too. But the last 12 years, and look how much we have grown. Look at where we've come from. Look at where we've come from. And I'm not here bashing any of our scriptures. I'd be a fool to talk bad about our scriptures, even though and even if and even because the heathens and Gentiles have put their sticky, dirty, boogered, nasty hands all up in our words. I'm not talking bad about our words. Because every word that was written got me to this point. Whether it was baloney or the truth, it got me to this point. It made me think critically enough to say, nah, I don't believe that, or nah, I believe that. Got me to this point. And that's what he's saying. Everyone who seeks me has me in him. I am the universal Father. My love descends to all hearts. I have come to all the people of the earth. But if I have chosen this Mexican nation, now think about this for a second, because, again, this is their word, right? This Mexican nation. The northern Tamari, the northern American continent, was all Mexican, whatever the hell Mexican is. Okay? I have chosen this Mexican nation to fulfill, unleash my word and my revelations. It is because I have found them humble, because I have found in its inhabitants the virtues, and I have made incarnate in them the spirits of the people of Israel. But not all belong to this nationality, nor are all incarnated. All over the world are scattered the spirits that belong to the number of the chosen ones. They have been pointed out. I have opened their eyes. I have sensitized their heart and spirit to spirit. They communicate with me. You have had my word and my manifestations through human understanding, and through your gifts you have contemplated the development of this work in the third ear. Therefore, people, you are my witness that you will speak with all preparation of what you have seen and heard. Those who will analyze each of my words, those who will explain my law, because others, despite their intuition and preparation, do not have all the knowledge that you have. Ain't that the truth? Their merits are great. They have not heard me in the way you have listened to me, but they are united to you in thought. The day will come when you will cross the path and you will recognize each other. Your spiritual gaze will discover in them the spirit they carry, their strength and their virtue. At that moment, you will shake hands and you will know that the traveler who crossed your path is also one of my chosen ones. That's what. Hold on, let me get the word. That's what's happening now with us. Not everyone will hear my word in this way. Why? People of Israel, you don't know. You don't know if it's because of your lack of union or because of your lack of spirituality, but united with them because they, like you, are responsible to humanity. You will take your portion, watch over it, and lead it. Among my chosen ones are those who have consecrated at the service of my divinity, taking charge as ministers. Among the chosen are the most humble, those who pass unnoticed in the crowds. There are also those who carry the laws and government of earth. I only know the number, and I can contemplate them. You, Israel, know how to recognize them by your spiritual preparation. You will all unite and form one body and one will at the time of trial in which I have to ask the people of Israel for their dispersion to sow my seed on all roads. Do not be surprised at that moment. Some of you will enter the bosom of my institutions, and there you will fulfill your mission of love, charity, teaching. The others will go to the villages far from the big cities. You will penetrate the bosom of those rude peoples, and there you will fight against fanaticism and ignorance of those your brothers. The time to fulfill your mission has not yet arrived. I have not fully pointed out to you your portion. You are in the time of teaching. Time out. Hold on a second. My kitty. It's so beautiful, these words. This is what we're doing. I keep saying the same thing. You will penetrate the bosom of those rude peoples, and there you will fight against fanaticism and ignorance of those your brothers. The time to fulfill your mission has not yet arrived. I have not fully pointed out to you your portion. This is what we've been waiting on. We want our portion, right? You are in the time of teaching. This is what we're in. We're in the time of teaching. We're being taught and we're teaching. We're teaching and being taught. You are my toddlers and disciples, but the time will come when you will become teachers, in which men will come to ask you for a word. Come and ask you for a word, and that word that comes from your lips will be the truth. It will be my pure teaching. Without any mixture, you will present it. I am preparing you, O Israel. I myself have taken on this great mission of cultivating your heart. I have not entrusted her to men, because I contemplate selfishness in them. I myself have cultivated your heart, and with these tests that have crossed your path, it has been polished. When you have stumbled, I have told you, this test will bring you great light. And when you have meditated, you have understood that the test that I put in your path was necessary, that there was a phase of your heart that was missing a buff. Do you see how my work is perfect? Well, how could you take my word to speak to men if you were not purified, if you do not carry great light and great spirituality? This is why I keep saying, like, we are perfecting our own spirituality as a unit, as a collective. And we're doing so not by our will, but by the Father. And the world can't stop us from this, because the world has already killed us for this. But now the world is in disarray. The world is confused. The world is so busy trying to worry about who's sleeping with who's looking like this, how much money you got, all this stuff. And we're over here seeking the Father. We're over here unifying. We're over here collectively being conscious. I'm preparing you. I myself have taken on this great mission of cultivating your heart. I'm going to read 30 again. I am preparing you. I myself have taken on this great mission of cultivating your heart. I have not trusted her to men, because I contemplate selfishness in them. I myself have cultivated your heart, and with the tests that have crossed your path, it has been polished. When you have stumbled, I have told you, this test will bring you great light. And when you have meditated, you have understood that the test that I put you in your path was necessary, that there was a phase of your heart that was missing above. Do you see how my work is perfect? Well, how could you take my word to speak to men if you were not purified, if you did not carry great light and great spirituality? Only I lead you, O Israel. Only I know the interior of each one of you, and according to your strength I have sent you tests. This is how I have taught you, because at the right moment each one of you will rise up as apostles of my divinity. Countless are the lessons I have given you. How much I have told you about the past times in the third year. I put together the three testaments, and I have formed a single book with them, and in this year of 1950, in which I give you the last page through man. Hold on, time out. So this is still talking, this is the time period between 1866 and 1950. And if you sit back and you really, okay, so this was all in Mexico, right? Okay. Well, why was it in Mexico? Because if it was done in the in white America, it might have been destroyed. It might, because they were hating us. 1866 to 1950. Think of what was happening. This is the critical race theory that they don't want to talk about. This is why this is coming out now. The Book of the True Life, volume 1 through 12. This is why it's coming out now, because it was written in Mexico, hidden there. And because it was hidden there, it had to come out right before our full awakening here in the Americas. I have given you countless are the lessons I've given you, how much I've told you about the past times. In the third era, I have put together the 3 testaments, and I have formed a single book with them. And in this year of 1950, in which I give you the last page, through man. The master truly tells you, with that page, the book is not to be closed. I will keep writing countless new pages for you. I will continue to shed light so that you can penetrate my word, so that you continue analyzing, and according to the times, you will achieve greater spirituality because you will not stop. Is that not us? In the year 1950, you have reached the highest spirituality. You are in the beginning of it. But later you will continue developing that gift that is latent in each one of you. So what they're saying here is 1950 was the culmination of our spirituality, giving back to our spirituality. And if you think about it, that was a pivotal point in our country. What was so pivotal about it? That we had shown them that we could do this on our own. We could create our own nation. Matter of fact, we are a nation amongst ourselves. And they destroyed it. They sunk our cities. They drowned our cities. They burnt our cities. They bombed our cities, right? Then, around 1958, because that decade, we're talking 1950, that decade on, they start talking about integration because they realized that in order to continue, if they allow us the collective consciousness, the unity of a nation, we would supersede them as a nation because our spirit is greater than theirs. Okay? But later you will continue developing this gift that is latent in each one of you. This is where we are now. So that gift that was given, all of it that was given in 1950, because if you think about our parents, they were born around then. So that gift was given to our nation to be here today. To even have this word. It's beautiful. The Father's so beautiful. I mean, I don't even know where I'd be right now if I didn't have any of this information. I just don't know. I mean, I got a pretty good idea, of course, but I just know. I mean, I am super stoked that the Father has allowed me the confidence and the wherewithal to study, to show myself approved. But I'll digress. Get ready, people of Israel. I am the master of all time. I will not be absent as I was not absent after my coming into the world as a man. After my departure, I have always been present. I have preceded all the ages and all the acts of humanity. I have always written his works. I have always judged his existence. Who will prevent me from doing it? Who can prevent you from raising yourself to me and loving me, right? Who can stop me from loving you, to watch over you, to comfort you, and to judge your actions, right? Those who make up humanity are those who move away from the Father, those who stop beating with love for the divinity, those of you who fall into materialism, those of you who allow yourselves to be carried away by passions and forget your spiritual mission. Passions there is desires, okay? But the Father is immutable and inexorable in its laws and in its judgments. I am always the same. Do not think at a certain time my spirit manifests itself with greater love than in other times. I am the same spirit who spoke through Moses and the prophets, the same one who spoke through the patriarchs and apostles, and the same one who spoke through all sent. Remember my divinity, people. Be like the Father. Love me, the same love. Don't change from love to coldness. Don't be hot today, cold tomorrow. I want to see you always lovers, always believers, always elevated and spiritual, always on the upward path, getting closer to me, because this is the purpose of your spirit, Israel. Why one day you present your love and faith to me, and another day you distrust your master? Why move your heart? I want to consecrate you as a firm stone, your faith always the same, your love always growing. I want you to be like the plants that you grow on earth, that you do not stop in your development, that you can achieve in the short time the fullness and maturity of all your gifts, so that you can recognize me. I am mercy that cultivates you. You, like docile plants, receive the dew, the life that I give you, and take advantage of it for the greatness of your spirit. Today, the children listen to me, and I speak to them the same as I do to men of mature age or to the elderly. Why not speak in another language to the children if their understandings are small? Because his spirit is great, just like that of you, because they can understand me, because it is not through the flesh that I come to speak, but to the spirit. That's why I say to you, do not belittle the children or leave them believing that they do not see me. See, this is what the Gentiles have done. Made everybody think they're crazy for seeing, kids. The children will see the spirits and talk to them, and that kid is crazy. This is what the Gentiles do. That's why, whatever. I digress. Do not belittle the children or leave them believing that they do not see me. Make them come. His spirit is hungry. I am going to cultivate them in the same way as you. Tomorrow's generations are the ones who have put on your foundations, one more stone in the work of edification and the work of spirituality. I need to say this real quick. So do not belittle the children or leave them believing that they do not see me. That also is the kids, the actual children, and it's also his children. So the Gentiles do that to the children, and they do that to his children. They tell us that, they belittle us when we talk about him, and they got us not believing him. Okay? Or some, or had, right? Because when we say, we see the Father, we see our God. You ain't got no God. You guys are slaves. You guys are niggas. Y'all ain't nothing. What are you talking about? See, don't do that, is what he's saying. They are the last dawns in which you will hear my word. They are the last dawns in which you will hear my word in this way, and I still contemplate the number of those that hear me. The heart of humanity is hardened, loves only material and pleasure, has left the spirit getting lost and confused in the whirlwind of hate, passions, and ambitions. Only the people of Israel have been able to wake up and are watching over those who sleep. So then always watch. I will convert rocks into fruitful plants. I am going to sow my seed in them at the right time. Just as I have told you, do not build on sand. So I also know when I have to sow, when the heart is ready, when the time has come. You as my disciples, do what the master does. So, when you contemplate, prepared the heart. When it be open, hungry to receive the light of his work, your intuition will tell you the moment. Great lessons it will reveal, and you will do many works guided by intuition. After my word ceases, who is going to teach you on earth? Each one of you will receive from the Father inspiration with preparation. So learn to pray and communicate with me after this manifestation. A time you will continue to meet. The force of your thought will enable you to receive from the source of life and light all inspiration that you need for your passage. I will inspire everyone, but there will be some who will stand out among you having a great intuition, and they will be the ones who advise, who speak without calling themselves teachers, without saying my successors. Everyone be prepared, because I am going to test your faith, your advancement, and I want to contemplate that you all take advantage of my teachings and that my word has been fruitful in the heart of each one of you. I do not want to contemplate you crying at this time or feeling nakedness, hunger, or loneliness. I do not want to contemplate you traveling as in a desert, but as a family full of life, energy, spiritual faculties. I want you to love, understand, and help each other. I've taught you love. I've asked you for brotherhood. I have made you understand that all of you have been formed with the same love, that all of you have, therefore you all have the same attributes, the same perfections. The greater your merits, the greater the inspiration, and the greater your actions. When you are not sure of taking a firm step, wait. Gather all your strength. Analyze all the fruits so that you can advance in your evolution. I will bless each of your determinations. I will prepare your spirit in such a way that it clearly understands the dictates of consciousness. because you will not remain indifferent as in these times. Many tests will be presented to you. You will have to fight with many obstacles, but you have already passed the first steps. The first test. You have already been unknown by your own because of me. You have lost everything and have been compliant. But in me, you have earned everything. I have given you the peace of mind that your loved ones could not give you. In me, you have found peace of consciousness and spirit. So what can you fear if the world points to you? If it mocks you, fear not. Be sure of your faith. Be firm in it, so that in the moment of trial, you can give before them a sample of what my doctrine is, that what you have embraced is just, good, and worthy. Each of you are representative of my work. Wherever you are, your actions are judged. Therefore, watch over your actions by your words, so that you may be my disciples in all ways. Each one of you is like a strong column of the paths of your life. You can attest to whoever has lost. You can rescue from confusion a spirit that has become confused. You can give strength, stillness, and peace to the one who has need. Therefore, people, think how great is your responsibility. Think that I have not called you by chance, but that by finding my work, you have found a great responsibility before the Father and before humanity. I have not come to recreate your hearing or your heart. I have come to instruct you in spiritual revelation. And after you are filled with this light, your mission is to teach others. If I have called you the chosen people, not Let me read that again. If I have called you the chosen people, not because he wants to distinguish you from others, it is because I want you to give you my teachings, discover all the mysteries so that you can speak clearly to others and teach them to imitate me. But I will always, always be your teacher. Whenever you encounter obstacles, stumbling blocks in the understanding of your brothers, whenever new tests come to surprise your spirit, I will tell you, my peace be with you. And in this greeting, you will recognize me, and you will say internally, the Master is with me. I am going to receive his inspiration from him, because despite all my preparation, I lack light in this test. And I will give you the light. I will fill your spirit with energy, and I will make your words fair, full of essence. Speaking to all of them as to my disciples, I do not want to contemplate you as beginners at the end of 1950. That is why I have talked so much. My teachings have been extensive so that each of you can be instructed and become my disciple in a short time. I contemplate the gratitude in your heart. You say to me, Master, my life and my actions do not deserve to be near. Do not deserve to be near you. Even receiving your teaching, do not speak in this way. Let me make you my disciple. Let me love you as much as I have always manifested it to you. Let me present myself among you and may show you how much I love you, so that you can love each other, so that you always carry the memory of these teachings, that they are torrents of love, and your heart full of that love can give itself to others, to your brothers and sisters. I have inspired you with the virtue of charity, benevolence, forgiveness. How necessary these are at this time, virtues, because I contemplate humanity stripped of them. Only selfishness, division, lack of love flourish. Everywhere I hear the mutterings of one another, remember that I've told you, you will not speak ill of your brother, although you have justice for it. Know how to lead me the cause. I have not appointed you judges. I have sent you all with the same gifts so that you see yourselves as brothers. Even the justice established on earth does not present just acts. I can contemplate the lack of charity, the misunderstanding, the hardness of heart, but each one will have perfect judgment. I have allowed these tests, and while humanity does not comply with my laws, as long as it moves away from the fulfillment of its precepts, he will have on earth who will subdue his heart, who will hurt him. If you comply, there will be no need for judges in the world. There will be no punishment. You will not need governments. Each one would know how to govern their own actions, and all would be governed by me. You would all be inspired by my laws, and your acts would always be beneficial, would tend towards spirituality and love. But behold, humanity has fallen in great abyss. Immorality, vice, sin has ruled the hearts of men. And here are the consequences. You have to rush bitter chalices to bear the humiliation of men, who, being your brothers, power on earth, but be humble, bear trials with patience. Think that I am the perfect judge. I prepare you on this day with the light of my spirit, and I ask you for prayer and meditation in your life so that you can understand my word and not only hear it, study it, but not only study it, but practice it so that you understand its value. May peace be with you. All I can say is that there is a lot happening in this last level. It's like we're doing a video game let's use a video game at the end of the video, right before you got to finish it and it's about to be done and you completed the story. This is where we are, because see, we're in this 3D life right now. We're in this 3D Gentile life. And in order for us to ascend, we have to move forward to the 5D. And the 5D is the spirituality of loving our brother and sister, loving our nation. Because, again, we can't have a nation if we don't have unity. We can't have unity if we don't have spirituality. Everybody running around talking about why Jesus, but what's he doing? What are they doing? What is happening on their end? Are they dealing in vice or are they dealing in virtue? We now have our own task, our own purpose, our own mission to fulfill. We've wasted enough time dealing with them and their madness and their lack thereof, but we don't hate them or we don't judge them, but now our purpose is set forth through our mission to be the light to the world. That's what all this comes, it all comes to a head. What you doing, Israel? Are you being a light to the world or are you being not a light to the world? That's how we know those who say they are or not, because they're not being a light to the world. So what are we to do? We have to finish and fulfill our mission. Our test is not done. As much as we want it to be done, as much as we want these heathen Gentiles to pay and be hemmed up, we ain't got nothing to do with that. That's not our mission. Our mission is to bring light, peace to the world. That's it. And Christians, I'm sorry, you're not bringing a light and you're not bringing peace to the world. You're just not. Catholics alike. Muslims, you're not. Hindus, you're not. Khazarian Jews, you're not. The only people that could do it are the people who you said couldn't do it and are nothing. Because when you see those same people who you said are nothing be something, that's the miracle. All praises to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Tonight's show is fascinating, and it's a read that is here to stay. We will continue down this vein. We will bring forth more information. We will continue to brighten our light. We will continue to make our oil sufficient to make the sun light upon our nation. So with that, I hope everyone is blessed. I hope everyone understands these words. I hope everyone takes time to study and pray and meditate to the Father, with the Father, for the Father. And I hope that success is following you as you do this. All praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom.